Ay, 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 ay. We're live. We're a little early because Tyler's our producer and gave me a false cue. So we're a little early. But here we go. That's okay. Here we go. It is time for the Flyers post-game show as a sixth straight defeat has been handed to them, this time by the New Jersey Devils in a third period where they started it right. They killed the penalty, but ultimately when you're going bad, you find ways to lose, and they did. There wasn't enough gas on it either. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big analytics guy. I don't ignore it. I use it as a tool, but the high danger chances in this game, expected goals, all situations in the games. The Devils were at 4.34, the Flyers at 1.88 expected goals. This is from Money Puck, and they're tracking. They do live in-game tracking, and when you look at the shot chart, I mean, it's so pronounced that too much of the Flyer shots are coming from the outside. And when you look at where the Devils were taking their shots from, it's it's pretty obvious what's going on, that the Flyers are giving up that area in the D zone, but not getting to that area in the offensive zone. And that's a horrible combination. Yeah. Yeah, as I put the chart up on our stream, you can see this area right around the net, and that is the house. And a lot of red there, and then at the other end, not a lot of orange. And that's part of the problem. Is, I mean, you want to simplify, and you want to just get pucks to the net, but you got to have bodies there to do it, and to get those rebound opportunities, you got to shoot with a purpose. And right now, they're in a tough spot right now. 2 goals or less again. They haven't scored more than 3 goals in 15 games. Whew. Yeah, that's not good. Well, it stands to reason. It's a great point, and I'm glad you brought it up because when you look at the heat map of the game of where the shots are from, where does JVR go? He's a net front tip, rebound, in tight goal scorer, and that's what he does. And when you see a lack of that, then that you know you see a lack of exactly what he does. And is that him not going there? Part of it. Part of it is, I mean, but he one shot in what'd you say, 4 games? Oof. Yeah, that barely even counts as a shot, to be honest with you. Counts as a save. Yeah, yeah. Which is why a post doesn't count as a shot. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and look, I mean, the shot attempts and the attempts from the high danger areas aren't there either. And because they're just not getting there with the puck and an opportunity to release it, to get a shot, whether it gets blocked or they shoot it wide or whatever, shot attempts and scoring chances and shots on goal are all three different categories. And look, they've scored 2 goals again against the Devils team that, I mean, they're off to a decent start. They're now ahead of the Flyers by 2 points in the standings. It's just, it's frustrating. And 6 losses. And I mean, this is exactly, Brian, what we talked about when this stretch of games, we said, you gotta, you can't have, a week or two where you really play poorly because you'll sink in the standings like a lead balloon. And that's exactly what's happened. Wow. Caps. Yeah. Yeah, it's a great point. You only, your emotional energy tank is not unlimited. eventually it does run dry. And even if, I remember the one year they battled really hard to get back into the mix, and then eventually you just run out of gas. And because you can't just keep going there. December. Yeah. Mhm. Well, the Devils moved their record through 19 games to a record of 9-6-4, 22 points. They grabbed the sixth spot in the Metropolitan Division, a couple points back of the Penguins and Blue Jackets. Flyers now in the seventh spot with 20 points. They have a record of 8-8-4. They're hockey 500, but really all said and done, they've won 8 games. They've lost 12 games. Shootout, which is 7 wins. Yeah. All right, let's take a quick timeout. We'll come back with more here on the post game show. It is Flyers game day. They go down to the New Jersey Devils by a final score of 5-2. Brian Smith, Jason Martinez. We're back after this on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network.
I mean, one of the ways to spend less time is to check quick.
We're back live as the Philadelphia Flyers have lost for a sixth straight time to the New Jersey Devils this time. 5-2 is the final. Flyers now sitting in that seventh spot in the division. New Jersey up 2 points with a game in hand. And the Flyers will get their next opportunity. It was supposed to come Tuesday, Bri, but that game is now postponed against the New York Islanders as they're dealing with some COVID issues. And they've got a week where they're going to try and get their arms around it. So the Flyers will next be in action. Get our first look at the New York Rangers this season, who, by the way, are off to a fantastic start. How about only 4 regulation losses? They have a record of 13-4-3, 29 points.
Yeah, you were talking earlier about teams that we didn't expect to be where they are, and I think the Rangers might be one of them. They have really cashed in on Igor Shesterkin, first of all, and we remember just a couple of years ago, it felt like the Rangers had Shesterkin and Alexander Georgiev, and one of them was going to be the heir apparent to Henrik Lundqvist. We just weren't sure who yet, and they had that bizarre season where Lundqvist would come in and play games and just get absolutely just shellacked. They'd give up 5-6 goals a game, and you're wondering what in the world's going on here. What are they going to do? Well, Shesterkin is the guy that's come away and running with it here, and then Adam Fox. I mean, what a pickup he's been.
Yeah,
I don't think in their wildest dreams the Rangers thought that Adam Fox would turn out the way that he has at this point. So that's 2 things they really got going for him there, and a fresh face behind the bench in Gerard Gallant, and obviously. It was really a bit of a surprise with the shakeup at the upper management level last year, and Chris Drury being handed the reins as general manager. So far it's all paying off for that Rangers team. So unfortunately for the Flyers, they've got to deal with it. That last thing they really needed was another Metro Division team to be playing lights out when you already have to deal with generally the Hurricanes and the Capitals and who never know who else, but the Rangers are really enjoying a hot start this year, obviously.
And at the end of that season, there was that Panarin-Tom Wilson incident.
Yeah.
And the statement went out, and then John Davidson and Jeff Gorton distanced themselves from the statement, and then they got distanced from Madison Square Garden because they got zipped.
Very quickly.
And then all of a sudden today, Jeff Gorton ends up as the executive vice president of hockey operations with the Montreal Canadiens, who were in the Cup final a couple months ago, and they fired everybody today.
Yeah, they did. They even fired the PR guy.
Did they really?
Yeah. And a guy that, to be honest with you, I never even met him. He was there maybe 3 years. They had a shakeup in that level a few years back, but you remember they had that little incident in the draft, and their response to the player they drafted that had some bad history wasn't what anybody wanted to see. So I don't know if that's part of it or what, but he was part of the shakeup today. But very interesting situation there in Montreal too, because under any other circumstances you would expect Jeff Gorton to just be able to take over, but they've got this crazy, I almost call it delusionary thing in Montreal that the head coach and the GM have to be able to speak French.
Yeah.
And, that to me is kind of silly, really. You want the best guy that you can get. And the best guy you can get right now is Jeff Gorton. You let him be the general manager. And, maybe they're going to be bringing a figurehead that can speak French. I don't know. But just do it. But yeah, that was a very surprising thing today. You would have thought right now in the NHL that Vancouver was going to be the first domino to fall.
Yeah.
But, it was the Montreal Canadiens, and it's kind of surprising. I know it was a weird year last year, but usually you get to the Cup final, you have a little bit of a longer leash, but not in this case.
Well, and no Carey Price, no Shea Weber. I mean, what did you expect? Almost
right.
It's been a weird day in the NHL. Weird last couple of days. Brendan Lemieux biting Brady Tkachuk, and he's got a hearing, and he's going to get a serious suspension for that. And Evander Kane placed on waivers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been, the Islanders getting postponed, and The Flyers have lost 6 straight. I mean, other than that, nothing's going on. Nothing to
Yeah,
see here.
it's a lot of great
Matt
news.
Murray on waivers.
Yeah, that was, again, that was a situation that I think is finally coming home to roost. I know Matt Murray had a great run with Pittsburgh, but I thought that he was overpaid for, and now you've got an Ottawa team that won one game in November, and they're $25 million goalies on waivers, and it's what is going on up there. Obviously, Pierre Maguire was not the answer to Ottawa's problems, but
Well, I mean,
it's one of those weird things, and it always seems like it's around this time of year that you start seeing one or two of these crazy storylines pop up in the NHL. So the Flyers would just much rather keep themselves distanced from that, try to turn this around here this week, and figure out what ails them. But I hope that this doesn't go on too much longer and drags them into one of these situations.
The more things kind of get chaotic around the league, the more they stay the same. As Alexander Ovechkin scored again today, had a hat trick the other day. Ovi, he's got 37 points on the year. How about this? Right. 36 years old. He's got 19 goals in 22 games.
It's the best start of his career, right?
Yeah, at 36. Yeah. His first season, I think, was what, 2004?
Yes, I believe so. He got, did he get a year in before the lockout? 03, 04?
I don't think that he did.
So maybe that first year after the lockout.
Yeah, unbelievable.
It was the same year Crosby started, so.
It's just amazing. He keeps doing it. We could use a few of those goals here in Philadelphia right now. Let's take a quick look at this December schedule. So this puts a bow on November. Let's park it, put it out in the recycle bin. Hope the trash people come and pick it up tomorrow and move forward. So the Flyers are going to start, again, the month of December, like we said, with the New York Rangers, third place team right now in the Metropolitan Division. They're off to a great start. Then they're going to go, Sunday, they get the Tampa Bay Lightning again. It's at home.
Yeah.
But then Sunday, and then it's Colorado on Monday. So you have Wednesday against the Rangers, Sunday against Tampa, Monday against Colorado.
I'm going to start hammering this home right now, by the way, for our Sunday night audience. That game next Sunday against Tampa is a 6 o'clock start.
Yeah.
6 p.m., 1 hour earlier than you would normally expect.
Okay.
So don't get there.
We'll see New Jersey again on the road on Wednesday, December 8th. Then this is a 3-game road trip. New Jersey, Vegas, Arizona. Then you'll come back home on December 14th, take on New Jersey again, then head to Montreal, then come home, take on Ottawa and the Washington Capitals, who, by the way, are leading the NHL in points right now. They've played probably the most games in the league, too, but they're off to a great start. They only have 4 regulation losses. And then it's another road trip, Pittsburgh, Seattle, San Jose, Los Angeles, Anaheim. And that'll take us right into January 4th of 2022.
So that Vegas, Arizona trip, I mean, the Flyers, they really can't afford to go 3 more games without any points, but that is the trip I would see this. I would hope that they would start to turn things around. Obviously there's a lot of travel there, but this is a team that is pretty close. They're decent together on the road, and it's a back-to-back against a couple of teams that aren't having, the greatest of seasons. I would certainly hope that they got this New Jersey series, 3-game series this year, because the Flyers lost the 4th game to the Seattle Kraken expansion. They don't play all the teams in their division 4 times anymore. But this whole series is over in the course of 17 days. They got them twice more here in the first half of December. And they need to have better showings, I think, than they did tonight. They've got to come out and get some of the points in the division against those guys. I was almost happy when you're not happy about COVID, but when I was trying to look for a silver lining about Tuesday's postponement, I was thinking to myself, well, I'd rather the Flyers play the Islanders sometime when they're in a little bit of a better overall situation than they are right now. Losing track a little bit of the fact the Islanders aren't any good right now either. But I'm not too broken up that the Flyers will get to play the Islanders at another time when hopefully they have things going, clicking just a little bit better. But the December is always a big travel month, and that second trip you mentioned, that's the holiday road trip that the Flyers have every year. And it's been hit or miss if they've been able to come out above 500 on that trip. It's a long trip, a lot of miles. You start in Seattle, you drop down to San Jose, you play the 3 California teams back to back on 3 consecutive nights. So it's it is a bit of a long haul. But the guys that are on this team, been on it for a while, are used to it. The ones that haven't, are coming out of the Western Conference, so they've been involved in the travel as well. If the Flyers can find a way to get themselves to January 6th and still be, I don't know, 4 to 6 points within a playoff spot, I think they'll end up being okay, because this has always been a good, better second half team than a first half team. And you had that number the other day. I don't remember what it was, but that their schedule in the back half of the season is not that difficult. Definitely not as difficult
23rd
as what they've had so far. So,
yeah.
But they can't go obviously a whole month playing like they have been and expect to be able to come back into the playoff picture. They got to figure something out here before that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just 2 games this week now, an opportunity to get in some practice time. Any truth to the rumor that the players are at the airport right now trying to go out to Seattle?
You never know. I guess it's like one of those things. It's like let's just
get out of town.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they'll be in New York at Madison Square Garden coming up on Wednesday, and it'll be an opportunity to end what is now a 6-game losing skid. And hopefully, for all of our sanity, they can get a win over the New York Rangers coming up on Wednesday. And then it'll be Tampa and Colorado in short order as well. All right, let's put a wrap on it. Let's thank a few people before we do. We start with our in-studio engineer. How about Tyler Zulli? Mike Vito on audio highlights. Great job by both of those guys. For Brian Smith, Tim Saunders, and Steve Coates, I'm Jason Martinez. You've been listening to Philadelphia Flyers Hockey, a 5-2 loss to the New Jersey Devils on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network. Good night, everybody. All right, Ty, thanks.